Hey, it's the next day. Last night I gave myself a haircut. Trying to go for like a mullet thing, but I can't really see what's behind me. So who knows? Hopefully it works out. Today I'm gonna try to finish up the one side of the roof. We'll try to start on the other side of the roof. I know I'm being optimistic, but I'm feeling good. Like yesterday for a few hours, I became like hyper focused, and that's a good sign because when I get hyper focused, I get things done. I find it like hard for myself to be super consistent like all the time, but I get into these zones once in a while, and I think I might be in that zone. So yeah, let's get some stuff done. Okay, so there's just one more spot left closest to this wall, and that's where that square is. So if I go up, it's on that board, and we see there's a two roofing panel overlap here, so it's gonna be a little bit to the left of that. From the other side, it's gonna be to the right. One other thing I actually decided was there were like 3 places along this rafter where I put in Gorilla Tape because the screws were just going round and round. I ordered some 2-inch number 10 screws, so theoretically those should penetrate both the board and into the rafter. Maybe I should have gone 2.5. Now I'm kind of questioning that, but we'll see when the screws get here. This side is all done. Now I'm gonna try to finish up that side. Okay, so the leaks are where the green and the purplish plastic is, and then also on top of the yellow container. I counted how many panels from the wall, and it was 1, 2, 3. So on the third panel, I'm gonna have to focus on, it's probably gonna be the second one and the top one. This one I think is okay, but when we get there, we'll see if there's any screws that look weird. On the second panel, we're gonna have to focus on the bottom one. So what does that mean? I'm not sure. We'll just have to go one at a time and see what happens. So now this is the part where I'm gonna need to throw a thing over the ridge of the roof because of the overlap there, and I can't get the rope over it. I'm thinking I'm gonna put a moving blanket up there just because a tarp is gonna be too light and it might just blow off the roof. So the moving blanket will have a little more mass. So to do that, I'm gonna need to move the truck further out so I can get a clip-in point that's higher on the ridge, closer to the ridge. And then I also have to extend the ladder up more. It's not as high as I need it to be. Let's see if I can get a shot of that overlap. Yeah, you can see it from the rope, and it's to the left about 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th screw, there's that overlap, and the rope, I can't get it over that. And if I jam the rope into it, it's a sharp edge, so that's not good. Moving blanket's not gonna work. I decided to test it while I was up there, and basically what's happening is the pull on the rope is so tight with all my weight on it that even with the blanket on there, when I try to move across, it's getting caught. I kind of stayed up there kind of brainstorming, and I think the next thing I'm gonna try is to put a piece of tape over that overlap area, and let's see if that does anything. Okay, so that sort of worked. There's a lot of friction on the tape with the rope on it, with all my weight on it, so I had to kind of unweight myself a little bit to get it over. It's not ideal. I'll give it a shot to a certain extent. I'm not gonna go super crazy trying to like get it over. Okay, so as you saw, I was able to get all the way to where I was able to replace or tighten all the fasteners. I decided to just tighten down whatever will tighten down, and then if it spun around and round, then I put the number 10 in. So that's the good news. I was able to get to the end. The bad news is that there were 3 screws that would just spin round and round even with the number 10. Good news is I believe 2 of them I should be able to throw in a dowel from the 2nd floor. The 3rd one didn't have a screw to begin with. Alright, so I believe I can get to all 3 of them. It won't be easy. So let's see. The easiest one is going to be from the 2nd floor. There it is. So it's the next one is on the same board, so pretty high up, somewhere up there. But the problem is I've got this railing and stairs, and it's just to the right of it. I was thinking if I can somehow set it up this way, leaning against the rafter, maybe I can. So I would lean it against the rafter and put it down here. I would have to reach around the rafter, so that's another thing. Not sure. And then the final one, where it's leaking onto this yellow container, it's actually on the lowest board. I should be able to just, with my little giant, prop it up against the board and drill a hole, throw a dowel in. I'm gonna eat and then figure it out. Okay, so that part was one of the scarier moments because the ladder is basically leaning on the rafter, and if it were to fail, you would just fall down the stairs. Fortunately, I have a stable surface, the rafter is solid, and I was able to get the ladder placed perfectly to drill my hole and put in the dowel. So we just have one more left, somewhere on the bottom board over there. Alright, so that actually turned out to be scarier than I thought, mostly because I'm leaning the ladder against the 2 rafters, because the ladder wouldn't really fit any other. I guess I could have tried to do it between the rafters. Anyways, I did it this way. So It's looking like that last screw is going into the rafter, the one that the right leg of the ladder is leaning on. I'm thinking I'll try to screw in the 2-inch fastener that I ordered. So now I have to go to the home improvement store. I went and picked up the 2-inch fasteners. Different brand, Tough Decks. So we're gonna go up and screw those in. So I've been noticing that I'm getting less working daylight these days. The location of my property is not the best for having the most sunlight throughout the whole day, because behind me is the western sky and you can see the sun up there. I live on the eastern side of the mountain, and then there's a lot of trees. So once the sun goes down behind the trees, I mean, I can still see it, it's fine, but I will no longer see the sun. And then on the other side, on the eastern part, there's a lot of trees as well, even though there isn't like a huge mountain on that side or anything. Yeah, I'm just kind of surrounded by trees, which is fine by me. Okay, so for some reason the 2 dowels that I put in didn't hold. It just kept spinning. I think I might have drilled the hole too big. It's the same drill size I've done, but I noticed when I put the dowels in that they went in pretty easily. So we're gonna go fix that and then screw the 2 remaining ones in, and then the 3 Gorilla Tape ones that I talked about. And hopefully we'll be done after that on that side. Okay, I'm done on this side. Kind of. Why do I say kind of? First thing I'll say is that I did take off the Gorilla Tape from the ridge, and I think that was a good move because there wasn't too much sticky residue that I had to glue off. But basically, if you looked at the last video, I was having some trouble with the lowest screw, and I actually ended up not putting anything in there because there's no wood behind it. There's like nothing there. And I can't fix that from inside the house. There's like a part underneath where the roof overhang is, and I think that part's called the soffit. That part is not accessible from inside. There's kind of a triangle piece right underneath the roof there that has like a board coming straight across this way. Whatever is going on inside there, I am unable to access from the inside of the house. In order to get in there, I would have to at least take off that board and maybe some more stuff. And I'm not gonna do that this year. That one where there's nothing behind the hole that I couldn't do, I'm just gonna put a piece of Gorilla Tape over it. Okay, so like if you look at the roof, the bottom part, and there's a set of screws right near where that blue matting is. Those are probably leaking. When I was doing this side, I was still in the mode of going vertically in order to get a bite into the wood. And as we found out, a lot of those didn't hold and they're leaking. Also, should we wait for the train to go by, or let's try to keep going? Also, on this side, I really didn't do any of them. I do plan to revisit all of those screws. Next year, we're gonna have to look into taking the bottom part of that roof apart and putting a better board behind it so the screws can bite in. When I look at the board from the outside, I see a lot of like kind of black staining, and I think that's from the water getting in there, but I don't see anything that looks like rot. I mean, you never know, but I'm thinking some water's getting in there, but it dries out and then it's kind of sort of okay, because basically it survived like this for, I'm guessing, like 5, 6, 7 years, based on when the previous owner bought this property. And when I looking at the material and the condition of it, I feel like the roof hasn't been touched for, you know, like 7 years. So I'm not super concerned about water getting in there right now, but again, we'll try to minimize that. But that's the last thing I'm gonna do on the roof. When I see water coming into the house like that, that is more concerning to me than water on outer parts of the house. Water on any parts of the house is not good.